Today we're talking about minicamp as it's starting right now here in Detroit. Lions players are back at the facility trying to get their perfection on the task that they do for each position group. Here is the schedule for the OTAs, May 21 today through the 23rd. We got another one the following week, May 29 through 31, June 10 through 12, June 4 through 6, and then obviously training camp late July. And very important to monitor what's going on here because we got to see how the team looks. We have minicamp battles, and we got observations that we got to do. And my first one that I have here is we got to look at the cornerback group as a whole as they battle it out. It's going to be a bloodbath, just like Brad Holmes said. And one of the players who's looking to be that CB1 is the guy who we drafted in the first round, Mr. Terrion Arnold. Led he did last year is 40 solo tackles, 12 pass defense, 1 sack, 5 interceptions. Alabama, he is a stud, fluid hips. We just got to see what he does with the rest of the corners. And can he jump to that number 1 position? I think he can, but he's going to be competing against Carlton Davis, who we traded for this offseason, 3rd round. He had 40 solo tackles, 2 interceptions, 9 pass defense, 0 forced fumbles. He did it in the NFL, not in college. He is a veteran. He understands the game. He's a physical guy. Can he take over the number 1 spot? And we look at the cornerback position. The rest of them here, Amik Robertson right now slated at the nickel. I think he's going to hold that 4 down. But then you got to think about Brian Branch as well. So what does Amik Robertson do? Ennis Rakestraw, the developmental corner that we took in the 2nd round here in the draft. Not a lot of room for starters. Can he be a guy whom the Detroit Lions kind of develop and will eventually be a starter? He's coming in sub packages, something we got to watch here in minicamp to see how well he's doing. And I think the biggest question here is Emmanuel Moseley. We got Emmanuel Moseley last year in free agency, expected to be a number 1. He ended up getting injured, and we signed him to a veteran minimum deal, basically, to come in here and compete. Look, if Emmanuel Moseley could come in and get the job done and do what we expected him to do last year, the Detroit Lions absolutely, no doubt, are going to have a problem finding their starters, and we could have the no-fly zone. So I got a question for you. Want Terion Arnold to start week 1? If you do, put yes in the comment section, or more importantly, smash that like button. If you smash that like button, Arnold could start. I swear, it's a math that works. Let's continue on to talk about other battles here, and how about RB3? That is the battle that we're looking for right now. Now, Craig Lund is not on this list, but he is slated right now at number 3. So, you have Jahmyr Gibbs, 1 or 2. Don't really matter. Same with David Montgomery. We know what they're going to do there. But Sion Vaki and Craig Reynolds, who is going to take that number 3 job? You look at Craig Reynolds, what he did last year, 41 carries, 179 yards, 1 touchdown, average of 4.4. Not bad. He did good when Gibbs and or Montgomery was out. When we needed him to do, he got a touchdown in the postseason on a 4th down. He's reliable. We know we have in him. But the Lions drafted Sion Vaki for a reason. What he did at college last year, 42 carries, 317 yards, 2 touchdowns. Vaki was looking good in rookie minicamp, and there is a legit feeling that he could take over that job position at number 3. We've been hearing it for a while, so I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't know who is going to get that job. We're just going to have to wait and find out. Question for you. Name 1 breakout player in 2024. Could be any player. Name them in the comments below. Let's get to that defensive line, because that is going to be a big issue here, is who is going to step up on the interior and the edge position for the Detroit Lions. We know we got with Aidan Hutchinson. We're just going to leave him alone. We know he's a stud. Who's going to be the number 2? Marcus Davenport, we signed him in free agency. Hope he could do that. I have a lot of questions there, personally. Joshua Pascal, can he come in here and have a 3rd-year leap like a Derrick Barnes? We'll see. John Kaminsky had a down year last year. Can he change something up and be like he was year 1 for the Lions? And he was making a big big move and splash for us? We'll see. Mitchell Argud, yeah. Then you got Matthew Betts, who we've signed, right? And a lot of people, a lot of fans have high expectations for him, but we haven't seen anything yet. So what's difficult about the edge position is we can't really see a lot on the defensive line until we get contact. And you look at the interior of the defensive line, we know we got Alim McNeill, DJ Reader. Broderick Martin. Can Broderick Martin step up for the Lions? Have he transformed his body? If he can, the Lions could have a really good defensive line. Broderick Martin, we just got to wait and see what you can do. And will anybody else step up? So a lot of questions upon that defensive line, if you ask me. We just don't really know who is going to step up for the Detroit Lions. It could be multiple players. We just got to wait and see. But what about wide receivers? Well, I got a question for you before we get into the list here. Pick a wide receiver 3. Do you think it's going to be Khalif Raymond or Donovan Peoples-Jones? If you think it's somebody else, put another name in the comment section. Let me know your number 3 wide receiver for the Detroit Lions. And that's going to be the next part of this video, is who is going to be wide receiver 3 for the Detroit Lions. You got Khalif Raymond, who I absolutely adore. Khalif Raymond is awesome. He is the most underappreciated Detroit Lion, if you ask me. He's only 5'8", 180 pounds, and that's why. But you look, he almost had 500 yards. He was a good piece to the Detroit Lions. He catches everything. He never drops the ball. He could play outside and in the slot. He could do the deep pass and the short. He's multi-dimensional wide receiver, and that's why we love this guy. You also got Donovan Peoples-Jones, who I think is going to take a significant step forward after we traded for him, then re-signed him here in free agency. 13 receptions, 155 yards, 0 touchdowns, 11.9 average. But the guy is a good wide receiver. He is, and he absolutely is in the mix for that number 3 spot. You got other wide receivers, Antoine Green. I think he's just competing to make the roster. Traquan Smith, Tom Kennedy, Darius Fountain, and Isaiah Williams for the Lions at wide receiver. I think Isaiah Williams and Antoine Green probably make the roster. We just need to know who's going to be number 3 and number 4. Let's go ahead and continue on and talk about what the Lions can do here and what they can get going, and talk about the safety position as well, or the defensive backs position as a whole. As we talked about corners, let's get to the safeties right here. Right now, there's no particular order. It's just C.J. Moore, Futu Melifonwu, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. I love the depth here. I actually think this is good depth. I think you have the starters and Brian Branch, Futu Melifonwu, and Kirby Joseph. The interesting part is, who is going to be the main 2 starters? We have no idea. Those 3 are going to battle it out. I don't know. I think Brian Branch is going to be a part of it. Maybe Futu Melifonwu. C.J. Moore, he's a special teams guy. He could be a backup. Kirby Joseph, we like no curb. We curb no life, yo life. Kirby Joseph, we like what he can bring to the Detroit Lions. But it's going to be a difficult for Detroit to figure this battle out, and we just got to wait for all the mini camps and training camps to get that spot. And there's another question when it comes to the DBs. You know, will the Detroit Lions sign another one to help, you know, the roster out? We got 4 right now. They could definitely bring another one on there. They got 5, right? One we don't probably expect to make 5, but they could bring another veteran in here to help out. So there's that. But, man, it's going to be a great battle with that safety room. We just don't know who's going to get that spot. We got a talented room. Last year we had a talented room as well. You know, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, Iffy, Brian Branch, Kirby Joseph. That was epic. But we got a young DB room. The corners and the safety position. And it really is a good thing to see. So I got a question for you really quick. Will the Detroit Lions add another safety? Do you think that they could go ahead and get a Quandre Diggs? Or another safety to add to the DB room just to give it a little bit more depth? I personally want to. It doesn't really matter to me. I think it's fine the way it is, but if they want to get more competition, I'm always for it. So let me know right now. Will the Lions add another safety. Y for yes and N for no. Let's blow up the comments below. Let's get into linebackers and battles that's going to be taking place there. Now, we love Malcolm Rodriguez. I don't think he's going to be in the rotation for sure, but Jack Campbell, Derrick Barnes, Alex Anzalone. Okay, Derrick Barnes got more than Jack Campbell. Does that switch now? Does Jack Campbell now have a whole offseason to get up there with Alex Anzalone and take it over? He's good at Mike, but Alex Anzalone is that. So can Derrick Barnes continue to hold the fort down over Jack Campbell? That's yet to be seen. But you got to look at Malcolm Rodriguez, right? He can play multi-position, special teams, offense, and defense. What other players can do moves like that? What other players can get it done? What about the quarterback 2 position? I think it's Hendon Hooker, 110%. I think he's quarterback 2, but we've heard about people talk about, well, should we trade him and all that stuff? I don't think none of that happens at all. I think he's going to be on the team for the long haul. I truly, truly do. So, big questions for the Detroit Lions coming up in training camp. And we go to the kicker position. And this is going to be not really OTAs here. This is more training camp, right? Who's going to win the kicker position? We're all looking for Jake Bates and Michael Badgley. Jake Bates is not on the team as of yet. I think he probably will get signed. That's what I'm going for. That's what I'm thinking. But it's yet to be seen if that is the case. So, a lot to look forward to for the Detroit Lions, and that's why you want to keep hitting that notification bell so you don't miss out on the latest Lions news and rumors. And with that said, folks,